I like all types of teas. Smells like there's some herbs in there. I just want to try different brands of teas. My favorite tea is herbal teas. There's been a tremendous amount of teas I've been able to try. Judging by the smell of the tea, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. The tea can definitely be too hot. It's been a real special place.
Sipping acorn, rich nigga on A1, baby, blacker than acorn, baby, butter pecan.
What's up, everyone? JayTea here, coming to you with another special episode. Like I mentioned in previous episodes, if you guys haven't seen them, I'll put them in the description down below. But just to introduce you guys, one, to my love of tea, introduce you guys to tea, and all the different ways that tea can be implemented within your lives and integrated within your lives. I've mentioned in previous episodes as well that tea can be used for medicinal purposes when you're not feeling well, or whether you want to use it for a preventative purpose medicinally. It can also be used to relax. Some people wind down with a glass of wine and, they just want to relax at the end of the day, to each his own. Some people sip on scotch. Some people have cigars. Everyone has their thing that they like to do, like I mentioned, to either wind down. But then at the same time, tea can also be used as a pick-me-up as well. People get up, get their morning coffee, their espresso. Tea can have those same effects as well. So this is just another episode of me coming to you guys with another, I don't want to say educational episode, because I do want to teach you guys, but I'm learning as well throughout this whole process as I go, travel, find different teas. But we have another special tea for you guys today. From Florence, Italy. It's been amazing here. There's been a plethora of food I've been able to try. There's been a tremendous amount of teas I've been able to try. There are sweets we've been able to try. It's been a real special place, but there's been a lot of history. There's been a lot of history that we've learned via their food. And this is something that I think that I learned a lot about the Italian culture and the people of Italy, is that they're deeply rooted within their food, and their food is their culture is their food. I had a conversation with our tour guide, and she mentioned that the Italians, they're not too much of warriors or fighters. Like, even throughout history, you could see that, they were never really in a ton of wars and really wanting to be front and center. Now, of course, if they had to, you have to do what you have to do sometimes, especially as a nation. But she mentioned that the one time they would have an uprising, or if people would really get upset and really let that issue be known, was when things were regulated with their food, or things were trying to be tampered with their food, because at the end of the day, that's with their grandparents, with their ancestors, their great-great-great-grandparents. They've all came up with the same type of food and tradition based on the land, the richness of the land, and the certain qualities that different areas in Italy may have in order to produce certain products. Now, enough of the history of entire Italy. Let's get back down to Florence specifically. The brand that we're having today is La Via del Tea. That is the name of the brand, which means the way of tea, or the way of the tea. I thought that was a cool name because it's trying to emphasize and focus on, it's not about us and us referring to people of Italy. It's saying this is about the tea. This may be the origin of it. This may be where it came from. There may be a certain process that we use, but it's about the tea. And I thought that was really strong. It's almost like, I don't want to say like a monk, but I was like, the way, like, this is the way. Follow me. Also, the specific type of tea that we are going to be using is the Tisania. Tisania in Italian means herbal tea. So, I know I keep referring to the previous episodes, but in the previous episodes, I told you guys that herbal teas and a lot of fusion teas, that's kind of when multiple kinds of teas are mixed together, multiple kind of tea leaves and herbs and spices are mixed together to create a whole new flavor. You have black teas, you have green teas, you have white teas, and that all depends on the age of the tea leaves, how long that they are allowed to grow. It goes into, like I said, just mentioned the mixture. So are you mixing a bunch of different herbs and spices together? Their properties, do they help your digestive system? Do they help your immune system? But the specific type of, category is called Rissolante. I'm still trying to learn too. Like I said, I've only been here for a few days, so I'm still trying to learn, but it's Rissolante, which means relax. So all in all, the brand that I'm having today is La Via del Tea, which is the way of the tea. That is the brand. The subcategory of tea tea that I'm drinking today is Tanzania, which is an herbal tea. So it's a fusion tea. But then it's also Rissolante, which is a relaxing tea. So you guys may know it as like a chamomile kind of tea. So I'm about to go ahead and take my first taste of it. Judging by the smell of the tea, it smells like there's some herbs in there, so I don't know specifically which kind of herbs, but maybe like some lemongrass, something like that. But I know I smell the ginger, a little bit of honey. I smell honey, and not that I put honey in there, but it has those kind of notes. So I think this is gonna taste more like a green tea, but I think it'll be a bit more earthy. I don't think it's gonna be kind of sweet. To me, I like all types of teas, but for different occasions. So relaxing teas, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover, but for me, ginger isn't usually the kind of tea that I want when I'm relaxing. You guys may know a relaxing tea probably is like a chamomile tea. For the most part, a lot of people know about chamomile tea. That's when you're trying to go to bed, you take that at night. So this kind of has some of those notes, but at the same time, it could taste like anything. So let me take my first taste. So it's kind of like I thought. In a sense, there's an earthiness to it in the background for sure. There's definitely ginger in there for sure. I do believe this is lemongrass in there. I'm gonna just, disclaimer now, there's going to be times in the future when I kind of don't know everything that's in the tea, and not like, okay, like, JT, how don't you know what you're drinking? I'm saying as far as I'm not going to know every single ingredient every time. Now, if it's something special, I know I'm beating a dead horse, and y'all probably tired of hearing me say this right now, but in the previous episode, more specifically the JT time in London, the first episode, that white herbal, that white tea with the white tea leaves that I showed you guys in that episode, I kind of wanted to know everything that was in that tea because that was the first time I've had a tea like that. It was kind of a rare tea, but there are going to be times, especially, I just want to try different brands of teas. There are going to be times I just go to the store and, I'll bring you guys with me and I'll just say, hey, which tea do you guys think I should try today? Like, there are a ton of tea brands and I'm going to be trying to find what I feel as though is the best tea brand to me. It's just the versatility of tea that I like. So I won't say at this point in time. I guess I can. As of now, my favorite tea is herbal teas, so infused teas. So multiple spices, multiple different herbs or flowers, whatever it is. It kind of has a brightness or freshness to it. But I will say right below that, almost like 1A, 1B, I will say I do like green teas. Green tea is just a normal kind of tea. They have a lot of different properties. You can have a sweet green tea. You can have a green tea that's a little bit more earthy. But at the end of the day, I like green tea because it also has the caffeine component, just like a black tea. A black tea, I mentioned this before, you guys, that caffeine can kick in within 20 minutes. A green tea could take up to 2 hours. So I think green tea is very versatile, but flavor-wise, palate-wise, for sure, herbal teas, herbal infused teas. Now, I will say as I keep tasting the tea, and as you get further and further along the journey of the cup of tea, I will say, of course, the flavor profile will change because now you get less and less water inside and you get more and more of the actual herbal components because it's almost like it's more dense, it's more concentrated, I should say. But, it's kind of hot right now, so I'm gonna just let this chill for a little bit. Y'all know if y'all drink something too hot sometimes, you like, yo, that joint really almost burnt my mouth for real. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me just chill. But for me, the tea can definitely be too hot, of course. If you drink something that's too hot, then, that's just, you can't drink it. But what I will say is this, that if you have a lukewarm tea, you don't want it to be closer to cool than lukewarm. I'd rather have it be in between hot and lukewarm and not lukewarm and cold. As I get midway through the tea, I'm actually starting to get more and more of that lemongrass flavor. So the ginger and the sharpness of that ginger is actually starting to fade a little bit, and it's starting to bring more and more of that earthiness and not so much of that sharp ginger flavor. So it really is starting to transform now into a green tea, at least taste-wise. So not necessarily the caffeine component, but taste-wise, it's starting to go more and more into that green tea kind of flavor. Earthy, full, but sometimes green tea can be a little light. This one is not that light. This one is just more of a full green tea kind of taste now as I go halfway through. But I'm midway through when the Tanzania from the Rissolante tea, when we first started out, it had that sharp ginger, it was kind of cutting through, had taste of the lemongrass, it had a little bit of earthy taste, just a little bit of an earthy taste. Then as I got halfway through, the ginger kind of subsided, went away, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting more of that lemongrass, more of that earthy flavor. And now I will say, it's not that the tea is getting cold. The tea is still very much like warm to lukewarm. So we're still in that good sweet spot, at least for myself. But now that earthiness brightness is starting to fade away. And remember how I said it was starting to taste more like a green tea? This is now starting to taste more and more like a green tea with no like strong earthy sawgrass. It's starting to taste more and more like a lighter green tea, even though there's beginning to be less and less tea in there and it to be more and more concentrated, which is interesting because that's usually not the case. Usually as you get towards the end of the cup of tea, it's actually, supposed to get stronger, or it's actually usually gets stronger. You get more of that, pack full of flavor, that burst full of flavor, because like I said, now it's more concentrated. I don't know if this is why they call it La Vie de Tea. Maybe this is the way of the tea. Maybe the tea is supposed to be a journey through highs and lows, and this one, it starts off very, very high, takes you through all these twists and turns, and then it brings you down. But I will say that kind of makes sense now, because with this being a rilassante tea and a relaxing tea, it's almost as if it's supposed to bring you down. Like, hey, we're going to take you on this ride, this roller coaster, just to bring you back down to cool out. And if y'all made it this far in the video, I'm interested. Like, comment below. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if you guys know, but I love when you guys like videos, share videos. Like, that goes a long way, and I very much do appreciate it. But the reason why I really do this is because I like to see the comments that you guys have, because it's for y'all. I want y'all to get this experience as well, but also I like to hear y'all responses. I like to see what you guys think, what you guys would like to see next. So if you made it this far in the video, one, tell me, have you guys tried herbal teas? Has anyone ever tried La Vie de la Tea? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys have had this brand before. I'm not sure. But what kind of teas would you guys want me to try? It may not be something that you guys have personally had before. Maybe you guys are like, yo, JT, I actually seen this one tea in the store or online. Can you go and try that? Listen, I'm going to do whatever I can to go and research that tea, try and find that tea, and then get the tea and then show y'all and tell y'all my experience of that tea. So you guys, one, if it's a good tea, in my opinion, I'll let you guys know, listen, this tea is great. Go and get it. Or listen, this one ain't it. Cut it. Like, this is not it. I'm not gonna say this is one of my favorite, but I do like herbal teas. But as far as the journey of the tea, I will say this is definitely up there. It's only like 1/3 left, and I will say it's definitely starting to come down. Like, just the flavor starting to subside. Tastes like a green tea. Okay, Florence. And as far as you guys commenting, it really goes a long way. Like I mentioned, likes go a long way, but commenting, because the channel goes as you guys go, or the series goes as you guys go. So wherever you guys want this series to go, I'll do my best to make it happen. I actually can't wait for times when I'm able to have JT time during the season, because I do think this is something that I already do during the season. I already have tea during the season, but it'd be nice to bring you guys along that journey as well. And going different places is just to try them out and to get an experience of different kinds of teas. I will say this is something that I want to do in the future. I want to go on like a tea tour. So I'm not sure if I have to go to London for that. I know London, I mean, they just have great teas, but I want to go to a place where I can really take a deep dive, peel back all the layers of the way tea is made, the way different types of teas are made, because this brand here, actually, La Vie de la Tea, I mean, they have teas that's not just from Italy, it's from like Japan, Italy, was it France? Might have been France as well. They pull teas from all different areas, and I do think, there's two sides to the coin. You can be a tea brand or tea company that, hey, we're going to just focus on what we do. We're going to do it really well. We're going to be a master. You could be a jack of all trades, or you could specialize like, hey, we'll just use, the Western world. We'll specialize in the Western world, or we'll specialize in the European world. It's almost like whatever you want to do. So I'm interested to figure out where I fit in the best. I will say one of my favorite cultures is French culture. I took French in high school. That was one of my favorite classes. For y'all who know, shout out Mr. Carney. Mr. Carney was that boy, and he taught me a lot. But that was also something that I really enjoyed. But this tea is almost gone. And it'll be like this sometimes. I know this was just me in the beginning giving you guys a little synopsis and a little overview of the tea, and then I kind of went into actually the tea that I was drinking. That's what you get with JT time, and that's what you get when you just let the tea take you along the journey. But this was a whole nother episode of JT time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, today we had the tea brand La Vie de la Tea, which is a Florence Italian brand. We had Tanzania, which is an herbal tea, and it was a rilassante, which is a relaxing tea. I hope you guys enjoyed. Join again next time. Make sure you hit that notification button so you never miss another JT time video.
Wanna reach, water, beach, on a, wanna come on, holla, hey, I'm a stunner.